So let's talk about finding real meaning in your work. Especially when that big, shiny corporate mission statement just doesn't land. What if I told you that fulfillment has less to do with your company's vision and, well, a whole lot more to do with your own? Let's get into it.
Does this sound familiar? That feeling that you're just in a holding pattern, just waiting for something, anything to change, so your job will finally click into place. It's a super common feeling, but honestly, it's a passive way to live, and it can keep you stuck for a long, long time. Yes, this is the classic trap, isn't it? We tell ourselves these stories. Oh, I'll be happy when I get a new boss, or when the company culture finally shifts. But we're basically making our own happiness someone else's responsibility. What if the key to a more fulfilling career is already in your pocket? And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We are going to walk through a really simple, practical blueprint and a huge mindset shift that puts you right back in the driver's seat. It's all about helping you find that momentum and meaning right where you are right now.
Okay, first up, let's really dig into the core problem here. I like to call it the mission gap. It's that Grand Canyon-sized space that can open up between the vision you see on the posters in the break room and how you actually feel Monday to Friday.
We get told this all the time, right? We're supposed to be inspired by the company's grand vision. We should be totally fired up by that mission statement they roll out at the big annual conference. And hey, if you feel that connection, that's amazing, seriously. But what if you don't? For so many of us, not feeling that connection just leads to feeling unfulfilled, maybe even a little bit broken. We start thinking, is the problem the company? Is it me? But the real issue might just be the expectation itself, and that leads us to a really crucial shift in thinking. So this brings us to what I think is the most important part of this whole conversation, adopting a brand new mindset. This is about fundamentally changing how we look at the relationship between our job and our own personal purpose. Here's the big insight. Your purpose is deeply personal. It's yours, and it changes as you grow. So, expecting your 9-to-5 employer to hand you your life's purpose on a silver platter, it's not just unrealistic, it puts this massive unnecessary pressure on your job to be everything. This one little switch reframes the whole game. The old way, it's like a constant tug-of-war, where you're desperately trying to make their mission feel like your own. But the new way, you see your job as a useful tool. When you go from their mission has to complete me to my own vision guides me, work stops being an identity crisis and starts being a resource for building the life you actually want. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Real, lasting fulfillment has to come from the inside. You can't download it from the company intranet, and you can't absorb it from a motivational poster. So, how do we actually start building it for ourselves?
Well, this new mindset leads us directly to a super practical, actionable game plan. So let's get into your 4-step purpose blueprint for fueling your own sense of meaning at work.
This whole thing is built on 4 really fast, simple prompts. The idea here is to give you something you can use immediately, like as soon as this is over, to start taking back control of your career satisfaction. So here are the 4 pillars of the blueprint. We're going to start by defining your actual, real-world impact. Then, we'll make a list of what brings you joy outside of work. After that, we'll build a tiny little contribution habit. And finally, we'll bridge the gap between your job and your personal vision. Ready? Let's break them down.
Okay, step 1 is all about impact. I want you to forget the corporate speak for a minute and just ask yourself this one simple question. Is it your customers, your teammates, maybe a supplier? Jot down the real value you bring, the problems you solve, the time you save, maybe even the smiles you create. This brings your work back down to earth, into real human terms.
All right, step 2, let's catalog your joy. What truly lights you up when you're not working? Make a list of at least 5 things. It could be anything. Family, your side hustle, reading, travel, whatever. The key is to create this personal menu of joy. And then, and this is the most important part, you have to proactively schedule at least one of those things into your day every single day.
Step 3 is about contribution. A deep sense of meaning often comes from just making things a tiny bit better for other people. The goal here is to start one small, consistent contribution habit. This does not have to be a huge deal. It could be mentoring a junior colleague for 10 minutes or picking up one piece of trash on your walk every day. The trick is to make it small, consistent, and something that actually matters to you.
And finally, step 4, this is where we bridge the connection. Ask yourself, how does my current job actually help me build my personal vision? Maybe it funds those joys we just talked about. Maybe it helps you grow your creativity or pays for that class you want to take. This step is about consciously recognizing that your job is already a powerful tool for your life.
So, once you've gone through these 4 steps, the big question is, how do you keep that momentum going? And that brings us to our final section, which is all about turning your work into a permanent ally. Look, this is not a one-and-done kind of thing. Your priorities are going to change, and your plan needs to change with them. So make it a habit. Revisit these 4 questions every quarter, or, anytime you go through a big life shift. It keeps your personal blueprint fresh and relevant to who you are today.
And this right here is the biggest takeaway of all. You do not need a perfect company to build a fulfilling career. The power comes when you stop looking for some external solution and you start building your own fulfillment, right from where you stand. So, to wrap it all up, get crystal clear on your personal vision. Then use those 4 steps to align your small, daily actions with that vision. And just watch what happens. Your job starts to transform from being your entire identity into being your greatest ally in building the life you really want.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. After everything we've talked about, what is one small, tangible thing you can do today to start making your work a better ally for your life? Thanks for joining me.